Hey there. Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! For almost 16 years. Yes, 16. So, Stampin' Up! Challenged me to do a video saying my why, share my why. So, I thought I should. As we're coming out of pandemic and we'll just say trauma is starting to release a little bit. I find that I am looking back onto my whys even more so now. So why do I do Stampin' Up? Well, I researched companies and I liked their products the best. Their coordination, their quality, whatnot. No, this is not a sales video, but that's my why of why Stampin' Up. But why crafting? It started since I was like this high. I was 4 years old. If you look on my YouTube page and probably throughout my Facebook, you will find pictures of my grandma. On my mom's side mainly, but also my dad's. And my grandma on my mom's side actually bought a studio. And when I was 4 years old, I think it was, I painted my first porcelain pumpkin cookie jar for, a gift for somebody. I don't know. Or my grandma might have kept it. I just really don't know. Because we have earthquakes in California, I don't know where they ended up. But, so I painted this pumpkin and I was hooked. Now, my mom is not all that creative, artistically speaking. She plays piano, or at least used to. But I found out through the years that both of my grandmas are artistic, or were, I should say. Sorry, they're still very much alive in me, but they're not anymore. Mom's side was oil painting and crochet and cooking, and you name it, what she touched, it was great. Dad's side was more sculptor kind of stuff. She would take a hammer and weld and do metal sculptures with like distressed leather and copper and that kind of stuff. Gorgeous stuff. My aunt, on Dad's side, is still very much can teach watercolor painting and that kind of drawing and sketching and all that kind of stuff. My other aunt, not so creative, but does play piano much like my mom does. Found out through the years that my dad is a certified calligrapher, and so there's creativity in my family, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So how did it bite me? Well, I had suppressed creativity for a very long time, and then my husband was military, Marine, musician, so creativity again. But we had moved overseas, moved to Italy, and one of the girls that I connected with, Wendy Corfell, I don't know if she'll ever see this, but she was the reason that I delved into paper crafting. So she knew a Stampin' Up! Person, of course, and we had moved and everything else, so a bunch of us would get together for dinner. So the first time I got together with her, she was like, "Hey, I'm cooking chili, you need to bring cheese." Okay. We're gonna craft. I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not creative." She's like, yeah, you are." "No, I'm not." So I said, "But I'll bring the cheese and I'll come and eat." Okay. So second time, I don't think I came. Third time I was invited, I said, "Oh, I'll bring," I don't remember what it was, baked potato bar or something. "I'll bring sour cream," or whatever it was. It doesn't matter. And she said, "No, you're coming to create." And I said, "But I don't create." And she said, yeah, you do." So literally that night I put the $5 or $10 on the table, and she gave me a card base and she gave me a bucket. It was probably a bowl of glass beads and some wire, and said, "Have fun." I said, "What do I do?" And she says, "It doesn't matter. have fun. So I have my first card that I should have brought with me, because I still have it. But I'll show it in a picture at some point. But that was my first taste of Stampin' Up. Then I moved again because it's military, of course, right? And had my daughter, who was an infant at the time, and had a great girl that was doing classes. And I said, I want to come. And she said, okay, come on. So I had fun with her. And then, 6-8 months later, guess what I did? Yeah, moved again and thought, I don't want to miss out. So instead of, finding somebody again, what did I do? I became that person. Now, I don't know what I was thinking because it was in that period of time that he was getting ready to deploy, and I had now a toddler, and it was no sleep and a lot. We'll just say that. So I lasted about a year, and I said, obviously not the season for me after yet another out-of-state move. So I said, but eventually I'm coming back to this. And of course, my upline at the time, Michelle, said, yeah, good luck with that. And if you do, great. And if you don't, no pressure. So what happened? I moved again and again and again. But about 1.5 years, 2 years later, I thought, there's no crafting classes in 29 Palms. There's no Michael's. There's no anything. So a girlfriend of mine and I decided we were going to go to Michael's for crafting classes. And yes, it was going to take all day. And yes, I had to hire a babysitter and all kinds of other hoops to jump through to get to this. And every time we went to Michael's, we'd get about halfway down and they'd call and say, we've canceled the class because we don't have the minimum of 6, 8, 10, whatever the minimum was. I'm sorry, we'll give you credit for the next one. So we did that about 2-3 times. And I said, well, this ain't worth it, is it? Because we're driving down there. Yeah, we're having a great breakfast or lunch, but we're never doing any classes. So she said to me, Miss Anita, she said to me, you should host classes. And I went, yeah, I signed up, been there, done that. No, thank you. I didn't know this is where we were staying. And she said, you really should do the classes. And I said, no. So she bugged me for a bit. And I said, I don't want to. She said, well, what would it take for you to do the classes? I said, you would have to build my clientele for me. So you'd have to bring 12 people on a list and have at least 6 or 8 show up every single time for me to do that. So for a while it was quiet. And then about 3 months later, I get this ratty, torn out, spiral bound piece of notebook paper with a dozen names on it with phone numbers. So I said, what's this? And she said, you told me to get a dozen people. So I did. And I said, you gotta be kidding. So July 27th of 2006, I signed up. And I started doing a class once every about 6 months. Just enough to keep my minimums going. And that's all I was ever going to do. And guess what? That was it. I was like, I did a couple classes and I was like, hey, this is fun, but I bet those 12 people are going to get tired of it, right? So in a matter of a year, instead of 12 people, I had 36. Then I had 38. Then I had 40 something. Well, fast forward, it's almost 16 years. And guess what? I still know Miss Nita. I'm still doing classes, but they're mainly online now. And my business has evolved and changed, 52 times. And why I say that? Because I've gone everywhere from hobby to full-time to part-time, back to full-time to online to in-person. I love the fact that it's independent and you, depending on what season of your life you're in, you can do what you need to do. So what season of my life am I in right now? I am getting back to enjoying creating. I am getting back to doing classes online mainly. I am opening my home up once a month instead of 3 times a week. It just got a little hectic. And what else? My daughter's no longer this big. She is now 20 and in college and touring the nation right now and doing all kinds of fun things. And my husband is a professional musician still, traveling and doing. And I am proud to say that I am a professional paper crafter. I do craft fairs and whatnot. I'm working on an online shop. And what's my why? My why consistently has been, I love to create. And I love to see other people create, whether that be virtually, whether that be online, as we well know with pandemic, that's happened, or if we simply get together, whether we create or not. But sometimes you just need a cup of coffee and to sit down and let loose. So thanks again for joining me. Like I said, it's been a ride and I hope it continues to be a ride, but that's my why, is always to create. So thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the day, and follow me on my blog. If you want to have tips, tricks, and know a little bit more about me, follow me on my blog, stampingwithjohnny.com. Have a great day. Bye-bye.